I want to explain a couple of things here regarding the criminal justice system that nobody seems to want to talk to you about, but I will. We have penal dysfunction, Penal. For the most part, our criminal justice system isn't bad. Does a decent job. It really does. It does a decent job. A decent job. And the decent job it does is things like, let me see if I can explain this. Things like, traffic tickets, a divorce for the most part. That's a tough one. Family law. Things you don't know about. Real estate, contracts. Pretty good. But when it gets to the notion of criminal prosecution, which is kind of what people think about when they talk about that whole business, the thing they forget is that what I hate the most is when there is excessive charges. People always talk about, well, the criminal justice system is too lenient. No, sometimes it's too difficult. Too difficult, too extreme, too extraordinary. Give an example. Why all of this attention for Harvey Weinstein? Do you know how many, I'm not going to mention the name, but I can off the air, I can give you 5 names of people who are notorious rapists, still rocking around, still. And I don't mean I mean underage girls and the whole bit. They don't make the hit parade. Why? I don't know. That's the part I hate the most. How can we have this? How can we have, well, it's okay if you do it, but not if you do it. See, that's the part that drives me nuts. That's the part that drives me crazy. And I'm telling you right now, believe it or not, my friend, I am telling you that there's this feeling. Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein was put away because of prior, they call it Molyneux evidence, but prior evidence, prior similar fact evidence, which did more to taint and disrupt and contaminate the jury. Because if you're hearing that this son of a bitch did all these other things to you, you might say, you know what? I'm going to find him guilty now. If he did that, you mean he did that to some beloved actress? Well, we'll fix that. And that's what happened with him. The way it's supposed to be done is similar fact evidence is supposed to be introduced for other reasons to establish an MO or a particular pattern or it doesn't work like that. And Diddy, forget it. Diddy is a scumbag. There's no law against not being a scumbag. He had orgies. He had orgies with women who were involved in orgies. Women who were involved. I don't want to bring this up, but do you know the abuse that goes on or used to go on in cases such as beauty pageants and the like? Are you kidding me? This is part and parcel of the whole story, the whole shebang. This is what goes on. This is now. I'm not trying to countenance this. I'm not trying to say it's okay. What I'm saying is there have been orgies. There have been for the days of Hugh Hefner. There are about 3,000 or so, roughly, professional football players and basketball players and baseball players in the United States. And there are groupies, people who will, notorious, people still now, people who are, have you seen some of these, I hate to say it, but there was a time when a lot of these players were, from Bill Russell and Oscar Robertson and others, they were kind of genteel. And have you seen this crowd now? Do you have any idea what goes on? They have freak offs without calling it a freak off. Why aren't they prosecuted? And when men and people pick up the phone and say, "Hey, listen, the Knicks are going to be in town. Bring the girls over," or somebody calls up and says, "Listen, I'm going to be in your town. Bring your friends over." Is that violation of the Mann Act? Is that prostitution? Is that what you're doing? What is do you think these girls who there was were you brought there for prostitution? Were they paid? Was it assignation for? I don't. That's not the whole idea of prostitution. Bringing somebody across state lines. I don't care about bringing them across. How about the fact that you're trafficking? Nobody's trafficked. Nobody was forced, fraud, or coercion like children, people in CPS, people who are involved in labor trafficking. You think these girls were pulled there against their will? You don't think they could have left? And people say, well, they might have been so incredibly cowed and pressured by trauma bonding and all that. That may very well work. And that may explain it. But that doesn't rise to the level of trafficking. And racketeering. Don't even get me started with that. Do you think Diddy and these are the Gambinos? The Lucchese crime family? The Cali cartel? These jadruls? What are you kidding me? Look, I understand that we don't like him. And a lot of these people they love this voyeurism about the Tootsie Roll and this and that. But this is not the kind of stuff that we're talking about when we involve ourselves, believe it or not, in the world of real, hardcore, legitimate, honest to God, trafficking, organized crime. You know that there was a time when everybody went after the Italians or the Sicilian organized crime, LCN and that sort of thing. The Life. They forgot about the Albanians and the Chinese and the Puerto Rican cartels and the Latin kings. And nobody cares about that. And it's that degree of discretion that bothers me the most. It's not so much when people are prosecuted. It's when only a certain group of people are prosecuted. There are people who wanted to go, who lived for anything involving the mob. John Gotti loved it. And now, do you think there's an LCN, there's a mafia? Yeah, of course. But it's not like it was, but they're still there. Does anybody care about it? No. Unless you have a nickname. They love the nickname, Bumpy, they think this is the Sopranos. The real organized crime is being done is on Wall Street. It's or with derivatives, or what's going on ultimately with organized crime regarding economics at the globalist level. Central bank digital currency and violations of individual privacy. That's coming next. That will be legal. The notion of money laundering in a digital capacity. Some would say, well, what is cryptocurrency to an extent? Nobody can really understand. But the point that I'm saying is, it's the lack of uniformity. It's the lack of individuals going out of their way to be construed as fair, equitable. If you're going to go after Diddy, go after all of them. If you're going to go after Weinstein, talk about what he did in this case, not what he did to women before who haven't been charged. How Weinstein hasn't said, let me take the stand. Let me take this stand. Let me talk about the Clintons. I would love that. Same thing for Diddy. Yeah, let me talk about Jay-Z or Quincy Jones. I'm just throwing names out. I'm not saying they were involved in this. Don't get crazy. But what if he did? Michael Jackson, this and that. Teddy Pendergrass, the whole place. Berry Gordy, everybody who... Clive Davis. Name everybody. Tommy Mottola. Just go down the list. To have people say, damn. So much so that they say, all right, that's enough. Shut him up. Because if you think Diddy is the top of the heap, you're out of your mind. He's nothing. He's small potatoes. And Harvey Weinstein? How many women in Hollywood? How many women in Hollywood, seriously, owe their careers to him, where he actually did what he said he was going to do? You're not hearing about them. Is Gwyneth Paltrow or Meryl Streep, or I'm just saying, there are a lot of people who benefited tremendously. And I'm not saying they were involved in any kind of sexual or whatever, but for a guy who was such a creep, he made a lot of people famous. And something tells me that they were not famous merely because of their acting prowess. Just saying. Just saying. So think about that. That's why I'm so embarrassed with our system. Not that it doesn't work. It works selectively and infrequently. Now, do me a friend, a friender. What does that mean? Do me a favor, my friend. I want you to subscribe here. Make sure you subscribe to Lionel Legal. 85% of the people who watch this aren't subscribed. I don't know why. I have no idea. So I want you to like this. Also hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. And whatever you do, I beg, beseech, implore, import you, and ask that you comment as you see fit.